I'm Rupam. I believe in practicing yoga and I've been associated with AVIYOG group. I believe in yoga because I believe in empowering people. For me, empowering is about making them realize that they are self-sufficient, that whether they need energy, whether they need peace, whether they need any kind of emotions, whether they want to achieve something inward or outward, it is completely dependent on them, and their body, their mind and soul is sufficiently created by God in a manner to attain those goals without aiding them or without reaching out to materialistic things outside. So yoga basically teaches you to become self-sufficient and realize that if at all today I'm feeling happy, so it's just because of me. I can change this mood into something very calm. If I'm feeling very sad today, so I can change this mood from using these tools which yoga gives us. So you have to become very self-sufficient inside, and this journey makes you self-sufficient. It makes you realize that anything that happens outside, be it winter, summer, any season, any wrong that is happening outside, they cannot affect you until you realize that these tools are empowering you and they are making you realize that you are the one who controls yourself. So that's been the journey for yoga. Today I want to talk about the problem we experience the most. Like every next person you go complains that they have diabetes. And when we talk about diabetes, we generally say glucose bhad gaya hai. And when we ask a normal person what is their perception of glucose, they say it's something sweet, which is in a sense very incorrect. When we talk about glucose, we say that it's only related to sweet, but glucose is something which is increased in your body. I agree, you have diabetes and your glucose has increased. But that glucose increase is not due to just consuming sweet, it's because of consuming any form of food that you eat. So the mechanism is such that if at all I'm eating an apple today in the morning, it will give me certain amount of energy. If at all I'm eating a full whole meal, so for say I have everything, chapati, dal, bhaji, salad, everything, it will give me certain amount of energy. So this entire energy will get converted into glucose, whether I'm eating chips, whether I'm eating snacks, whether I'm eating something salty, whether I'm eating something which is very spicy, that will also get converted into glucose. So we need to clear this misconception that glucose is only sweet. No, glucose is anything that you eat under the planet that is grown, that is artificial, that contains sweeteners, that is natural. Everything will get converted into glucose and energy. So our body basically functions on this energy. To support this energy which is flowing in our body, there are few hormones which or secretions that happen in our body. For say there is pancreas in the abdomen over here. So if at all there's excess amount of energy, for say you had a lot of cravings for some junk food and you eat that, but for say it wasn't required in that much proportion and you've eaten more, so you obviously have more energy that day. So your pancreas do an absolutely fabulous job, that is they secrete a hormone called insulin. So insulin is like a sponge. It will just take out absorb that excess energy from your body, which is good because you don't need that excess energy. It will transfer it to fat cells and it will get stored. So that is something which your body is conditioned and your body is created to do. But if at all your body is not doing that, pancreas are just like your little brother, if at all you force him to do some kind of work very rigorously for say 10 days, the 11th day that person or that your brother is not going to come to you, and when you call him, he will not be available for you. But at the same time, if at all you don't tell him to do anything for 10 days, he will automatically lose that obedience for the 11th day. So you have to maintain a balance. You have to make that pancreas, that is your little brother, a friend of yours. You have to maintain a balance. You have to see that you don't overwork it out so that it produces does that work too much. And you have to at the same time see that you do not leave it, you do not just let it go so that it becomes very inactive, so that it forgets what its function is. So to maintain that balance, you have to first ensure what is happening in your body, whether it's because of overworking out, or whether it's overperformance, or whether it's underperformance. Usually, I believe diabetes is in 100 out of 90%, it's because of underperformance. For instance, Pancreas are responsible for secreting that insulin, but they are not able to secrete that insulin. And when I'm saying it is 90% because of underperformance. There is a reason behind it, because we are usually standing or thinking or sitting, but there is very less abdominal work that we are doing in a work. Have you ever seen a person walking on his abdomen? No. Have you ever seen a person sleeping on his abdomen? No. So that's how you see why all our problems get generated through our abdomen, because we've been conditioned to do very less work on our abdomen. So we have to understand that you have to involve or indulge in more of abdominal related work, wherein the pancreas are situated, so that you can give them that push, you can give them that heat which is required to make them function, make them secrete that required amount of insulin. So for that, I believe you just have to devote 30 minutes in the morning. Then after each meal that you take, after a gap of 1 hour, you have to dedicate 10 minutes. You will, as it is, just not foolishly, but I'll say you will just blindly believe the doctor, and he will say that this particular magic pill is going to go inside and do magic. Instead, you devote that 10 minutes and do magic for yourself. So morning when you get up, 30 minutes in whatever state you are, whether you've been to the washroom, whether you've drank water, whether you've had proper sleep or whether you've not had proper sleep. Morning when you get up, take your time. Once you're comfortable, dedicate 30 minutes to it. You have to begin with Bhastrika Pranayam. In Bhastrika Pranayam, initially start inhaling in a manner which your body is supporting. So you inhale, then you exhale for five times. Then for the another 5 times that you are inhaling and exhaling, see that you're putting an effort in increasing. When you're inhaling, you're trying to expand, and when you're exhaling, you're trying to contract. So by doing that, you will facilitate open breath. Once your breath and everything is very open and all your channels are open to actually let the function of next exercise begin, you can go on with Kapalbhati. It is absolutely fabulous to create heat in the pancreatic portion. These muscles over your core muscles will contract. When you inhale, they will expand, and then when you exhale, they will contract, which will ensure that your abdominal workout is done properly. And one thing I would like to say, for the people who say that they don't have environment enough to do abdominal exercises, you can do this when you're in the office. After the lunch break, you've got for 5 minutes break. Lunch break, there was a gap of 1 hour. After that, you can take a 5 minutes break and just do it. This is for you to realize that whatever you've eaten needs to get digested, and that energy needs to be channelized somewhere. And if at all that insulin is not working, so you need to channelize it yourself. And you will feel that once you do this exercise, you realize that, okay, I feel much lighter. So 30 minutes in the morning, you have to begin with Bhastrika Pranayam for 5 minutes, then you have to go for Kapalbhati for 10 minutes. Just like I told you the procedure, it should focus, your breath should generate from your stomach and abdomen portion, which will ensure that this portion is working out. You know where the problem lies, the problem is here. So you have to focus on that. But after that, we will go on postures also, so that, because it's morning and because you are in a rested state, I assume you are in a rested state, and mostly you will be in a rested state if you had a decent amount of sleep. So after that, you can go for Mandukasana. Mandukasana, usually you have to keep you have to keep your fist like this, and when you procedure, I'll show later. Okay, so Mandukasana, generally these kind of fist will enable that you are able to get that pancreatic massage which is needed to create insulin. Then after Mandukasana, you can go for Matsya Asana. I will be showing the procedure. So for Matsya Asana, what it does is that it again massages your pancreas, but it gives a slightly more push or slightly more abdominal workout, which is required, and which you can do it in the morning, because your food is digested and you're on an empty stomach. Then after, you have to make it a point that after every meal that you take, after 1 hour, you have to do any kind of breathing exercise or any kind of abdominal workout exercise. It can be anything from Mandukasana to Matsya Asana. It can be something which you feel comfortable with. For instance, you feel comfortable doing I assume you won't, assume that you will be comfortable in some kind of abdominal exercise which will give you a proper amount of workout over here. So you can even add up that. But usually these two, Matsyasana and Mandukasana, will focus on that pancreatic portion. So you can do that. After all, like in the end, I would want to conclude that after a meal that you take, you will yourself feel that, you know, I need to channelize this energy somewhere, and you can devote 10 minutes for, say, after taking 1 hour gap, which will avoid taking pills, any kind of pills, because that pill is just, you know, making your organ, pancreas, more inactive, more, just like I told you, he's like your little brother. You're telling, by giving a pill, you're just telling him that, see, don't work, I've got a pill for you. So in that person, if, for instance, after 1 month, if you tell your pancreas to work a little, he will forget that little also. He will just forget what its function is if you just give a pill to it. So you need to, that's what yoga is. You need to empower your organs. You need to make them realize that, see, this is your breathing capacity, you can reach there. And this is your function, you can do this. So I believe, although it's a slow and patient process, and maybe initially when you start, you feel, what am I doing? Why am I breathing like this? But slowly and gradually, you will realize that giving this 1 hour in total, 30 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes after each 1 hour gap of each meal that you take, you will realize that actually this is making more bigger advantage and benefit to you than taking that pill, which is just working mentally and maybe just making your organs more passive, more relying on something outside. Thank you.